Hello everyone, and welcome to another game of Warships. Today it's one of my replays, and I'm in the Florida, a tier 7 premium US battleship. I'm on the map Sleeping Giant in a 4-point domination game, and it's a tier 9 battle, so pretty bad matchmaking. We're actually the only tier 7s in here. But there is no carrier, so there is that, and I just overpenned the Cleveland 2 times. Great start! So anyway, keep in mind this is not meant as a review. I haven't played the Florida enough to do something like that, but I guess I can give you some first impressions of this ship and, well, show you a battle that was... well, it went decently, I suppose, especially for a tier 9 battle. Now, there is a Mars, and the Mars is... well, it's trying pretty hard to suicide here, I believe. No, I don't know. I mean, why would you reverse around this island there? I guess he wanted to get hopes off, but, you know, there are just too many ships here. There is Tallinn here with Raider, there is our Atlanta here with Raider, there is a Set here with Hydro. It's like a rather dangerous environment for destroyers inside Cap currently. Now, unfortunately, the A cap has been taken by the enemy, and our team decided to completely abandon the left side. Anyway, I was talking about the Florida. So the Florida, in a nutshell, the armor is pretty crap for a battleship. That's how it feels like. The guns are pretty decent. They are low caliber though. They are 356 millimeters. So keep that in mind. But you've got quite a few of those, and so far I think the guns have done reasonably well. Of course, if the enemy angles too much, it's, as I said, like, they are not the biggest caliber. And, you know, if you have something like a broadside Cleveland, that's obviously rather helpful. So far, I mean, I have a decent spot here next to my Atlanta. I have some islands as cover. Also, by the way, the concealment is decent. As you see, with concealment expand, it's down to 12.1, so you definitely have a chance to disappear and retreat. You have defensive fire. We all know anti-air doesn't do anything in this game, so it's pretty pointless. But at least while the carrier just still drops you, you get a little bit of fireworks going, so maybe that's your thing. I have chosen to use the fighter plane. Not that the fighter plane is that effective. I mean, the fighter plane would in theory be effective, it just refuses to engage anything unless it's too late. So it's pretty ineffective. But, you know, I just hate spotter planes. I know that technically spotter planes could be rather good at shooting in smoke, and it can help if you have the increased range at times, but I don't know. Maybe I should just get good and learn how to deal with spotter planes, but I hate them. So I don't use them. Anyway. It's not looking so great. We have a huge blob of friendlies that's just hiding behind this island, which is kind of sad. Like, we are the only tier 7s here, right? Or, yeah, exactly. Us three, well, I mean, the enemy is also tier 7s, but in our team, we are the only low tiers here. So, and I mean, I'm in Florida. The Florida really can't just, I mean, no ship can tank the amount of enemies that's here, to be honest. But, you know, our team has also given up on the A side, which is becoming an issue because the enemy has 3 caps. And in time they will just run away with points. Well, there goes the Cleveland, that's a start. Now, of course, we still have Raider and Hydro here, so maybe we can just farm an enemy destroyer if the enemy destroyers are careless. I mean, honestly, the enemy destroyers should probably be either hiding behind islands there or trying to get into positions where they are less vulnerable to our Hydro and Raider onslaught. Oh, look at that, St. Louis showing broadside, and, well, 6 overpens. But hey, I mean, I got 6 shell hits, you know, it's nice. Now, in a more problematic thing is this Massachusetts pushing in, right? This Massachusetts basically can abuse my broadside. He's not paying any attention to me because he's charging into all of our fleet. That's exactly, by the way, what we need, right? The enemy hold all the cards, our ships are in a blob that removes to go forward, and the enemy decides to push our blob. That's exactly what we need for a comeback here, so that's nice. Now, I can shoot the Massachusetts broadside, I guess, which is lovely. Especially if he doesn't shoot back. Now, there were 2 shatters in there. The pen of those guns is probably not the best. As I said, they're only 356 millimeters. So if you're fighting a lot of angled ships, and especially if you are fighting a lot of higher tiers, those guns might turn out to be frustrating. But so far, I usually got the decent use out of those guns. And they are obviously a choice to shoot broadside cruisers with. Of course, keep in mind usual battleship RNG applies, as always. Well, so the enemy, now there's a York pushing in, right? So basically our team did everything in their power to throw this game, and the enemy was like, hold my beer, we are going in, you know? We can throw even harder. Of course, it's still anyone's game at this point, but it looks like we are actually getting the decap now. We are probably getting this York, because I don't see how this York can escape from there. And yeah, probably should have held my fire there. As you can see, like, the reload also isn't the best, but that's what you pay for all of those guns, I guess. Speed is decent of the Florida. So it's also nice. These days, I guess, it's nice to see a US battleship that can actually move. But anyway. It looks like the enemy has finally decided to retreat. Everyone that wanted to just throw away their ship has already done so, and the others are like, you know what? This isn't the best way to play this. Oh, the North Carolina is angling, what a shame. So if I keep pushing here, I'll have a problem. Like the North, I mean, I'm currently undetected, but that will soon change again. So this North, maybe I should have held my fire there, to be honest. Basically, this North Carolina could shoot my broadside if he wanted to. So far, it doesn't look like he wants to, because his guns are not pointing my way. And instead, he's just going to show me broadside, which is exactly what I was hoping for. And there was even a citadel. You know, if the enemy shows broadside, it's getting so much easier. Now, I'm still in a sort of a crossfire between the Donskoy and the Bismarck, I suppose. I mean, Donskoy doesn't have the most scary armor piercing, but still not necessarily a position you want to be in. Also, the Bismarck secondary start engaging. I mean, I cannot blow the Bismarck with this ship. He needs to really throw it. But you see how fast my hit points go down there. With only those 2 ships, like, paying attention to me. Of course, I mean, it's a tier 8 and a tier 9. So there is that. So I've decided I need to probably reposition us a little bit here. Now I want to be ideally either undetected or angled against the Donskoy, and you know what? I've spotted a low health Scharnhorst. Now, as much as I want to shoot the Donskoy, sinking this Scharnhorst before it escapes might just be very important. And when we look at the minimap, we can see that there is an Orkan here spotted, but I didn't pay attention to the minimap, which is a bad thing, you know? You should definitely pay attention to that. So, as you can see, the Orkan has been coming around here for a while, but I'm completely oblivious until I'm detected, and yeah, didn't know. Now I noticed. So, you know, I could have seen this coming like a long time ago, and now I panic and try to escape any torps. Thing is, as you can see, the ship does reasonably well accelerate, I suppose, so well, I only got 1 hit, which is a shame, but my team can finish off the Orkan here. Turret Traverse just isn't fast enough to catch this Orkan by front guns. But you know, I've escaped, and that's nice. Now, if I were clever, I would already be slowing down again, because you could argue I really don't want to push into this, right? If I go forward, I'm being surrounded by Bismarck, a Scharnhorst, and the Massachusetts, with potentially a Donskoy going in. And that's not something that I can survive. I should also be healing, exactly. So basically, I should have immediately slowed down again, because my position wasn't so bad. it would have actually been rather decent. Now, I was flushed out of this by a destroyer, but I didn't need to run that far. Now I'm committed, right? At this point, there isn't really much I can do about this, but I can try to farm a Donskoy, because look at that. Full broadside Donskoy, 6.8 kilometers. And, you know, things like that are just a joy in the Florida. I guess in some way that reminds me of the Leon, who is also a bit of a shotgun ship. Then again, I guess the Florida is more accurate than the Leon. So there is that. Now, although I'm in a pretty bad spot, of course, a Bismarck can just go through my nose, and I'm inside his secondary range. There is the Massachusetts coming from the south, and then there is the Scharnhorst, and you know, 3 ships aiming at me, and 4 enemy ships are remaining, and it's probably the destroyer that's the one, and it's not aiming. Oh, is it? What? Oh, it doesn't matter. So as I've demonstrated here, the armor really isn't that great. So generally I'd say you wanna play a Florida at about medium ranges. So maybe about 15 to 20 kilometers. Well, actually it doesn't have. Even have 20 kilometer range, I think. And I could mount the range upgrade. I decided I don't want that. But I went for Third Traverse instead. You could mount the range upgrade. So yeah, let's say like 15 to 18 kilometers, something like that. It's maybe a good distance where you want to be at. Now, unfortunately, I can't unlock the camera and look around because, well, look at that. Wargaming destroyed something with replay controls. It's shocking, I know. So I'm pretty much stuck in the position that the replay was in when I played this game. I can speed it up though, so at least I have that much control over the replay. Isn't that nice? So we can see how this battle continues. And, well, the enemy team will have a hard time coming back, so we've finally taken control of the points, and we're in the lead now. I mean, yes, technically it's still anyone's game, but Scharnhorst is getting farmed. That leaves them with a Mars and a Bismarck. The Bismarck is too far away to do anything really useful. And the Mars is getting chased by my division mate in the Atlanta. Meanwhile, we are just taking the last cap. Oh, the set is probably going down here. But you know, as Bismarck is getting torped, and that's a win. Well, that brings us to the results. Honestly, my first impressions of the Florida seems okay, you know. I can't go into more detail, I guess, because I haven't tested it enough. But so far, nothing to sing songs about, nothing too exciting, but not too horrible either. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I'll see you guys next time.